The last time I talked about a Battle Royale game outside of PUBG or Fortnite was during my Worst Games on Steam series, where I played Creative Destruction and interestingly got a solo win first ever game. And then afterwards I just had cascading bad luck. But I haven't really taken the chance to review any Battle Royale game. Even Fortnite or PUBG. So today, it's time that we do this. Out of the Blue style. Hey, what's going on, geeks? Maxusthebeast is here, and welcome back to Out of the Blue Reviews. Today, we are talking about Realm Royale, the Battle Royale game made by the same people who made the conveniently timed team-based shooter, Paladins. Around the same time Overwatch was released.
I know what I'm having for dinner.
Now, both games, Paladins and Realm Royale, are free to play. So, does that make them... I mean, and also Fortnite's free to play. But does that reduce their quality by any means? I don't know. Let's talk about that. So, staying true to the format we set up with Out of the Blue Reviews, we're going to be talking about graphics, gameplay, and some other features as well. So, let's get into it. So, a little bit of a preface of this game. Like I said, this game was made by the same people who made Paladins, which was a team-based or class-based shooter released around the same time Overwatch was. It was supposed to be the free-to-play answer to the MOBA-esque shooter, even though TF2 already had a class-based type thing. Although, with Paladins, they tried more so to mix with Overwatch by adding in character abilities over top of class customization and whatnot. And, you know, some people thought it was a ripoff. A lot of people ended up really liking it. I've had mixed experience with it. It's not Paladins wasn't the greatest game ever, but I don't think it was a pure copycat either. But you think that, you know, by the cartoony graphics and the similar color tiers for weapon rarity, that this game would be an obvious Fortnite ripoff. And down to just the graphics and weapon coloration, you'd be right. However, in most everything else, you'd be wrong. I honestly went into this game thinking of it as a ripoff, or just another company trying to mooch off of the popularity of Fortnite. Which, in all fairness, it probably is trying to catch on to the Battle Royale hype. However, it's by no means a carbon copy of Fortnite. It's its own unique game. Now, this goes into graphics. This leads us into graphics. As stated, the game is cartoony. However, it has a similar style to Paladins, which both games are highly based off of a more World of Warcraft-esque fantasy world, where you have horses you can summon out of the blue and ride across the map. Buildings are more magic-looking. Seems like something straight out of The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, or out of, as previously mentioned, World of Warcraft. Some buildings are more based on traditional architecture. There's a desert section of the map with more wooden buildings and buildings outside that look like old-fashioned, old-timey saloons and things. It fits the scene, and it kind of reminds me of when, I hate to keep making the Fortnite comparisons, but when they added in the new section of the map in Season 5 with Paradise Palms and whatnot. It's a more old-timey western section. And other areas have larger, almost sometimes Japanese-looking or other Asian nations' architecture, as well as medieval things like this watchtower up here. The graphics, again, are cartoony, but they're pretty decent, and the architecture of buildings looks pretty dang good. The set design for the map is believable for a Battle Royale, and is one of the better maps for a Battle Royale. Honestly, a lot of the maps and some of these other free-to-play games tried way too hard to mimic Fortnite's and use similar techniques to Fortnite. And to some extent, Paladins does as well with the flashy name locations. But at the same time, each location is unique enough to where it's no longer considered a ripoff. And did I say Paladins? It's Realm Royale, I'm sorry. Is unique enough to where it's its own individual, unique map. In fact, there are some sections of the map that are actually really cool looking. There's an overview of this mushroom biome to my right. That's something very unique to Realm Royale. It fits with the fantasy World of Warcraft vibe that the game has going for it. And just because the game is cartoony, it doesn't mean it doesn't have any screenshot-worthy shots. There are several moments in this game where I was just stunned and think, that's a really cool background. The moon over there has a crack in it. There's a planet with a huge chunk missing of it with pieces of it floating around in space. It's a very cool looking game, although it is cartoony. So they've definitely established a unique aesthetic to it, which is completely unique to Realm Royale. And that is really the graphics, albeit sort of similar in style to Fortnite, are entirely different and should not be compared. Similar to Fortnite and other Battle Royale games, Paladins features health and shield mechanics, where you break somebody's shield, then you have to deal with their regular health. True to the more MOBA-esque feel that Paladins had, Realm Royale has an incredibly large health pool for your character. So you can take a lot of punishment before going down. On top of that, Realm Royale also features in a class-based system, where different classes have different starting abilities, and over time you can upgrade your character's ability or passive abilities to be better at doing certain things. Like over time you can gain extra passive healing, or better mastery at a certain class of weapon, depending on what kind of character you are. And alongside the abilities that come with your character, usually one mobility move, you also gain access to combat abilities. Now these you don't level up by just going through the character customization menu. These are found in chests, like randomized loot, where what you get is completely random, but can definitely give you a competitive edge in battle. However, these function as ground loot, so if you die, you lose them, and the only way to regain them in the next match is if you happen to find the exact same power-up or ability in a chest. These abilities can range from a throwing net that you can use to slow down opponents, to a jar of healing that you throw on the ground that gives you an area of effect heal buff. So that makes it definitely far more interesting to play against, as each opponent you face, unless they're fresh out of the bus, is going to have some unique and crazy ability to throw at you, and can also have plenty of other abilities to help defend themselves with. Like, they can go behind cover, like here, throw down a healing bottle, and get back to full health before you even have a chance to push. So you really have no clue what you're about to face, which always keeps you on your toes, which is definitely a good thing in a Battle Royale game. Abilities do grant a competitive edge, however, they're never really too overpowered. For instance, this bouncing skull thing I just threw at this guy bounced off of him and flew away. It would have been better off if I used it indoors, because there would be a chance I could come back and do more damage to him. However, we were outdoors and was able to fly away, preventing it from being super effective. although it was helpful.
Healing up.
Now, another feature that this game sports is the shard system, which is actually really unique. Where, Fortnite now has the side grade or upgrade, I guess, tables, for lack of a better word, where you can upgrade weapon rarity by using a bunch of materials with the weapon, and the material cost increases as the rarity of the weapon increases. Makes sense. Or you can side grade a weapon for less materials, just you'd have to have a weapon that can be side graded, like an assault rifle or whatever. But instead of that, with, forgive me, Realm Royale, there we go, I was about to say Paladins again, you have shards. You can get them from killing people, or from scrapping and dropped items. So for instance, this burst rifle I'm dropping, if I hit the X key, I gain a certain amount of shards back. Right above my shield bar is my total amount of shard currency, which I can then use at forges. There's usually one forge per major location. What you do is you go over to the forge, you hold down E, and you select what you want to do. You can make armor potion, health potion, armor potion and shield potion. Or you can make weapons. And after a certain amount of time, it's going to take about 30 seconds roughly to make a good weapon. So you're going to want to watch the forge carefully, because the weapon isn't going to just be deposited into your inventory. It's going to be thrown out as ground loot. So if you're being pushed by another player and the forge finishes its creation and will throw out the weapon on the floor, well, that other person can pick it up. And more often than not, the forge will produce legendary weapons, which, like Fortnite and Apex Legends, legendaries are the best weapons you can get in the game. So you do not want your opposition to gain your legendary weapons. Now, this is a unique feature that I really like, actually, where you can get what you need by sacrificing other ground loot or by getting kills. It rewards players for being either aggressive or spending their in-game currency wisely. Now, I say in-game currency, not referring to an actual currency, because the shards are useless outside of a match and you can't buy anymore, but just saying that they have a similar value as money would have in a game. Now, one complaint I do have about solo mode currently is a feature I'm sure you've seen by now. The chicken mode. Where, even in solo mode, when you take enough damage to technically die, instead of dying, your opponent turns into a chicken and then runs around. To actually get the kill, you have to shoot down the chicken. Now, the thing is that after 15 seconds, if you survive 15 seconds as a chicken, you're revived. So you can just get back up and get right back into the fight again. Now, this can be nice in squads. However, in solos, I find it incredibly annoying. Because when you kill somebody in solos, you want to get a kill, right? But no. They turn into a chicken and can then either fight against you and kill you as a chicken, or run away and then just respawn. It penalizes you, sort of, for doing well. As well as providing a bit of humiliation, which, I mean, again, the humiliation part's fine, because if someone absolutely trashes on you, then that's not exactly the most flattering thing. However, I don't think it really works for solos. Here, for example, one of my favorite things to do in Battle Royale games is to snipe. So getting a good snipe should feel satisfying. But then when you nail somebody and they turn into a chicken and can go run away, hide, and respawn and then kill you, thankfully that didn't happen with me and this guy, it takes away from that satisfaction. Because you get a kill, or you should get a kill across the map. It's like, yes, I nailed this headshot. This was like a 200-some meter shot. It was a really good one. They're turned into a chicken, can run away and respawn, and then just get back up and fight you again. And maybe even this time kill you. It doesn't reward players for playing well. It works better for duos or squads, where, I'd say instead of having the 15-second respawn, have it so you're stuck as a chicken, but you can still, have the dash ability to run around and fight back. So you can still help out your squad and your team, but you're just a lot weaker and stuck as a chicken, and that killing the chicken would be like thirsting you, which makes sense. And I'd prefer that system over the chicken system in solos. Because again, when I get a kill, I want that person to be dead, not turn into a chicken and get back up. That's just a minor complaint. It's something that I think should be tweaked and changed. So in solos, you get a kill, they're dead. So in squads, you get a kill. Instead of being knocked like every other Battle Royale game in the universe, let them turn into a chicken, then allow squad members to get them back out of the chicken form. But as a chicken, they can run around and potentially fight back as well. So even while down, they can still contribute to the overall game, rather than just, be useless and then get thirsted. Remember what I said earlier about in-game currency? While shards aren't exactly the currency we're looking for here, with Realm Royale, they're crowns. And similar to most other Battle Royale games nowadays, it has an item shop, where you can spend in-game crowns to purchase an assortment of things that, honestly, other than the mounts, are mostly stolen concepts from Fortnite. Other than character skins. Because I guess that's fine. It's not hurting anybody. And most games do it. That doesn't really condone like microtransactions as a whole, but it's a lot less scummy than outright plagiarism. As you can see here, there are contrails, being the spray paint thing going on here to the right, and then this fireball shooting star thing. And you can also customize your map beacon for 400 crowns. I get that it's a free game and that the developers of it need money for them to continue creating more content for it. But still, it's just disheartening to see every game nowadays featuring an item shop and featuring some sort of battle pass. Where now even For Honor has a battle pass. So, again, I understand that it's free to play and they need to make money somehow. But it's still kind of disheartening to see another item shop taking over another game. The game also features a solid tutorial which walks you through the basics. It's a bit basic, but it does its job well of telling you, hey, here's what's going on, here's some of the basics of what you'll need to know on what this game is, how to play it. And then it walks you through the unique systems like scrapping loot, item rarities, the different magic weapons, abilities, and then the forge. So again, it's basic, but again, a tutorial should be basic. Although what would be nice is to see a whole tutorial menu where you have options to play through different types of tutorials. Like, do you want to have more advanced tutorials for survival skills in game, effective looting, a shooting range? That's not just the basic tutorial section, and that sort of thing. or just an area that gives you all the abilities and lets you try them out, so you get an idea of what to expect from each one. You know, I like how Mortal Kombat, of all games to talk about in comparison to a Battle Royale, how they structure their new tutorial section. Where there's different character tutorials, there's different combo tutorials, and it's a very detailed tutorial section. So while it's a fighting game, not a Battle Royale game, I'd like to see more games take that kind of inspiration and would allow you to try out multiple different systems from the get-go. I think that would be helpful to new players and would also explain what's going on to new players. Other than the basics, would get them into the idea of using their shards wisely, would teach them resource management and ability usage and all that jazz that you need to know for more competitive play, I guess. Or just if you want to get better at playing Realm Royale in general. So overall, would I recommend this game? That depends. Are you currently in the Battle Royale market? Do you want to play another Battle Royale game? If so, give it a go. If you are tired of Fortnite and want something to play a more creative Battle Royale, definitely give it a go. It's an interesting title and is definitely fun to pick up and play. And it has a ranked system, so when you load in, you're playing with mostly other newer players. So you'll be playing with people on equal footing. Or if you're already a Battle Royale expert, you know, you'll just plow through the easy mode and then rank up to where you need to be for adequate competition. So if you are tired of playing Fortnite or other Battle Royale games, or just never played a Battle Royale game, I'd highly recommend giving it a go. It's unique, it's fun, and although there are some things that I definitely change, like the chicken system and maybe cut down on the in-game currency stuff, the game is pretty solid overall. And I'd have to give it a solid 7 or 8 out of 10. But what are your thoughts? Have you given the game a try before? If so, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Why or why not? I look forward to hearing your comments in the comment section down below. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, Maxusthebeast is out.